and More podcast. If you're new finding me this week, thanks for looking me up and finding me. If you are returning, thanks for watching. Let's get started. It's episode 2. I'm recording in a new place today, hoping for a little bit better lighting. And I'm closer to the camera this week too, so hopefully y'all can hear me a little bit better. So I guess I'm going to start off with some work in progress this week. And this was kind of one of those weeks where didn't really know what I wanted to work on, so I'd work a little bit on this and a little bit on that, and a couple projects didn't get worked on at all. So I'm going to only show you guys my active work in projects. So let's see. I don't think you guys have seen this one before. I just got this one started. So this is going to end up being a blanket. I have one done. I have 120 more to go. So I've got a little ways to go. This is for a friend. She asked me to make it. So I said, of course, before I looked at the pattern. And that's when I realized it was motifs. But it's for a good friend, so I'll bite the bullet and stick with it. So I'm using Simply Soft Karen yarn for all of my colors. And there's a cute little popcorn stitch in there to kind of form the clouds of the rainbow. And I'll put the colors that I'm using on my Rive project page because I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but they will be there. So I've got that going. It'll be a throw size blanket by the time I'm done. So you may be seeing these here and there. Since it's motifs, I probably won't talk about it a lot every week, but I just kind of know that it's kind of there on the back burner. So when I can't think of something that I want to work on, I'll just grab up a motif and, start working on that. And then my other whip is something new. It's new to you guys as well. And I was at Joann's this week, and they have these cute little keychains. And it was a panda, so of course I had to go pick it up. So now he's hanging on my cute little panda bag that I made. So, if you can't tell, I'm slightly obsessed. So this new yarn, I had gone to Hobby Lobby to pick up some yarn for a friend. I didn't have any reasons to go, but of course, it's a yarn store, so why not? So I got her yarn picked up, and I turned around, and I saw this yarn, and I just had to have it. It's so squishy. It's a 80% acrylic, 10% mohair, and 10% wool, so that's kind of why you got the little halos going on. The teal in there is a lot brighter than the camera is picking up, but it is gorgeous. So that has started the triangle shawl, which my hook is currently caught in, so let me untangle that real quick. So this pattern is the triangle shawl. It is by my dear friend Rachel, who is Love Knots on Ravelry and Instagram. So I've got a good start going on there. It's just kind of a shell stitch as you go around. So it's quite gorgeous. I love working with this yarn. It's so soft and squishy. I'm using an E-hook, and I don't think I talked about hooks last week, but my hooks are Susan Bates, and all of my crochet hooks have the bamboo handle. It doesn't matter what size hook, I just like the bamboo handle because it adds a little bit to grip, and my hands don't cramp as bad being they have a bigger handle. So when I'm crocheting along, my hands aren't as tight on the hook, I guess. I don't know. The bamboo's awesome. So it kind of helps with that. So there's my cute little triangle. It's slowly growing. I don't know, probably about 1/4 of the way into it, but of course every row I go it's going to get a little bit longer and take me a little bit longer each go round. I did save the label, so I did remember to do that. This is Yarn Bee in the Ravenswood colorway. So it's one of the common yarns that Hobby Lobby carries, and it is a lace weight. The pattern that Rachel wrote calls for a fingering, but I didn't have any of that on hand. And when I turned around, the lace weight's what popped out at me, so I figured why not just go ahead and use it. And I don't remember if I mentioned it, but I am using an E-hook on that. So that's kind of what I'm working on this week. I talked about the blanket last week. It's kind of been hibernating, and I haven't touched my knitted socks. They're kind of, I just hit the spot where I need to turn the heel, and it's one of those things that it's like I really want to do it, but I really don't want to mess it up. So I'm still working on the confidence on turning that heel. So let's see. So there was part of the week where I couldn't decide what project I wanted to work on. I couldn't figure out if I wanted to knit or crochet. I think we kind of all have those weeks, and I really had no idea. I would jump back and forth. I picked up the blanket and I looked at it. Wasn't that into it. It's a corner to corner. Not that exciting of a pattern. So it kind of got pushed back in its project bag, and I looked over and I saw panda fabric. So it's the same panda fabric I made my little zipper bag with, but I had found a new pattern on Pinterest, of course, one of my favorite websites to go to. So I decided to try my hand at making some drawstring project bags. My chair back just moved, so if I kind of jolted, that was why it scared me a little bit. So we may not lean on the back of that chair. So I sewed up a drawstring project bag. It's really easy. There's a tutorial on Pinterest. I'll link to it on the blog, which you can find at stitchingeweandmore.blogspot.com. Forgot to say that at the beginning. Also, I have the Ravelry group set up. It's Stitching Ewe and More podcast. I've started a couple threads in there, so feel free, jump in and ask some questions, post your projects, throw encouraging words to everyone. It'll just be kind of a fun place to hang out. So I've got that there, and I'll link to the group as well since I haven't set up this podcast. So back to the drawstring bag, I did the same panda fabric on the outside, and I did the gray on the inside. Now I ran out of ribbon. Didn't realize that the spool of ribbon I bought only had 9 feet on it. So I kind of got a little so happy, and I have 4 of these bags. I already gave one away to a really dear friend. I just kind of felt like doing something special to her, so I stuck some pretty yarn in the bag and passed that off. So here's the drawstring bag that actually has the ribbon. It's cute polka dot ribbon, and it cinches up real nice, and the ribbon slides real easy. So I had one of my FOs in that bag, but of course my bag is empty, so I can show you guys. This is probably my most proud moment because I haven't knit in ages. And so, you know, last week I was talking about how I knit so slow and this hat was going to take me forever. Well, I kind of got on a kick and I worked on nothing but this hat. That's kind of why I have a few projects this week. And so this was my super slouchy hat, and I'm super excited, y'all. I have it done. It fits perfect. I wore it to work this week, and I got tons of compliments. Everyone that I walked past said how adorable my hat was. They all had to see it. And of course at Knit Group we passed it around so everyone could see the super sparkliness. There's super sparkle in there. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but it's awesome. And of course this was the yarn that my dear friend Rachel hand dyed and hand spun for me. It was my Christmas present, so I'm super, camera's backwards from the way I turn, so we'll turn this way so you can see more of it. It just has a 2x2 rib here at the bottom, and then it's just a straight stockinette on up. I didn't feel like playing yarn chicken, so it's not as slouchy as I was hoping, but you know, it fits my head. It's awesome. I can't say enough about this hat. I was just so proud that it's my first knit in about 10 years, and it turned out awesome. It fits my head. Oh, I don't know what else to say about it, but I'm just super excited that it's done, and I love it. So I have another FO sitting over here. I think I may just wear the hat the rest of the time. Doesn't really match my outfit, but that's okay. So my next work in progress, well, it's kind of a half work in progress, half FO. So that sweater that I was working on last week, you know, I was like 6 or 7 inches into it. Well, I kind of had a lot of downtime this weekend. I've been kind of having some back problems, so I haven't really left the couch a whole lot. And my darling husband took care of dinner, getting me drinks, so I didn't really have to move much, which is helpful. I love that man. So I worked a ton on my sweater. Dude. And it's gray, so it's gonna kind of be hard to see, and now I can't see the camera. So there's the awesome pattern of it. It is the first row is a double slip stitch, and then you go into a double crochet in the back loop. It's a free pattern, so I'm not really giving anything away. And it does have this cute little V-neck going on. And then at the bottom, it has the, oh, it likes to roll. I need to figure out how to make it not roll. So if you have any ideas, tips, let me know, because it likes to roll. So we have it looks like a 2x2 knit rib, but it's done by front loop, or front post and back post double crochet. So I've got that going on. So like I said, I did wear it to work today. I just kind of wanted to see how it would wear. I work in an office where I share with 2 other people, but I don't leave my office very much. So if it didn't fit quite right, it was okay. And I had a jacket I could throw on, but I did notice the sleeves, I like my sleeves to be a little bit longer. They kind of hit me at like an awkward spot on my arm, so it makes me look really boxy. So I think I'm gonna put that 2x2 rib looking thing around the arm, just to kind of extend it out a little bit on each side. And then also at the bottom, I'm a really short person. I'm only 4'11", but this hits me at a very awkward spot. Like, it's almost too short for me. So I don't know if it was my gauge wasn't quite right, which I double checked my gauge before I got into the sweater part, so I'm not real sure if it was something I did throughout the pattern or if the pattern just didn't call for as many rows. So I'm not real sure what's up with that, but the picture on the pattern on Ravelry, it's actually really long on the person in the picture, so it would have been nice if they would have written if they did modifications to the pattern. But live and learn. I'm just gonna go back to the bottom and pick up and just add more of that 2x2 rib at the bottom, because it's gorgeous and there's never enough ribbing. So, and it won't look awkward if I just keep the ribbing and 5-6 inches of ribbing at the bottom. I have 6 inches of ribbing at the bottom. It doesn't bother me. And then the other thing here at the top, the pattern calls for a hood, but I don't think I'm going to do the hood. I wouldn't really wear it, so I don't really see the point of crocheting the hood and adding it on. So I think I'm just going to take that 2x2 rib, which I believe is what the pattern calls for, to do, just kind of put a collar on it. I may do a couple more rows than what the pattern calls, just in case it's not as thick as I want it to be. So I think that will look really cute even without the hood. And of course, any of the other modifications that I do to the pattern before I decide that my sweater's really an FO instead of a hoe, I will definitely mark on my Ravelry project page, which you can find my personal page at Little Panda 518. There's those pandas again. They're everywhere, I tell you. So that's kind of all I have going on. I know it's going to be kind of a super short episode. Like I said last week, I haven't really felt very well. Kind of started the podcast at an awkward time with not feeling too great. So I'm just going to kind of keep my episodes kind of short here, getting off the row, or getting on a roll, if I can talk today, since I can't seem to do that either. So yeah, I finished some projects. I worked on some projects. I hope my new lighting is a little bit better, and I hope you guys can hear me better on the video. And if you can see me, this is my fun baby yarn that I'm still trying to find the perfect pattern to use up. And that kind of brings up another thing, is a lot of people are scared to crochet with some of the funkier looking yarns that aren't 100% smooth. And like Lion Brand Homespun is one of those yarns that I hear a bunch of people say, oh, I can't crochet with that, it's hard to see stitches. It is hard to see the stitches. I just use a bigger hook. I don't know if I just have the patience to sit there and make sure that I'm in all the right stitches, but I have fun. It adds a little bit more of a challenge to it, and I kind of really enjoy that. So this yarn right here is like, it's fizzy, I think, and it's super fuzzy. Let me pull one out. Oh, it's tizzy. That was close. Fizzy, tizzy. Almost the same thing. Let me see if I can pull a thing out. So I'm trying to find the perfect pattern for this, but that's the yarn, and I'm really excited to kind of work with that and see what I can bring up. I don't know if I want to make baby hats out of it or if I want to try a sweater or something. I got this yarn. It was at another one of the big box stores. I saw the colors. It's orange, pink, and yellow. I figured that was perfect for a baby. If it ends up a baby hat, you know, that'll go towards my project of at least 12 hats that I want to donate to a charity. I'll most likely crochet or knit them up and send them over to my sister, since she works with babies every day, and you know, we like to donate to that nursery. So every time that she's there for a birth and after the baby has its first bath, we like to, it's always nice for the baby to have a homemade hat to put on their little head instead of the little hats that are at all the hospitals. So we have that going on. My shawl that I'm working on, not the crocheted one, but the knitted one that I showed last week. I think that's going to kind of be my next big focus of a project once I get the last minute things done to my sweater that I want to work on. That was supposed to be a Christmas gift, and I'm kind of turning it into a birthday gift for my sister since it took me a little bit longer than expected. Her birthday is next month, so I've got that coming up. I have a friend's birthday who is actually yesterday, and I'm working on sewing her some project bags. She knows they're coming, so I can talk about it here. So I'll hopefully be back at the sewing machine this week. I'm working on getting my craft room rearranged a little bit, so hopefully I can bring my sewing machine in here and get it off the kitchen table. Like I said earlier, I am really short and I have a bar height kitchen table, so it's a little difficult to kind of, I have to like half sit and half stand in order to reach the pedal on the floor. So it's actually quite entertaining watching me sew. So I'm hoping to get it moved in. I have a foldable table that's pretty sturdy in my craft room, so I'm hoping to get this sewing machine moved into here this week. Yeah, the shawl, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about this week, but I did want to get an episode in since I'm just getting started. So hopefully next week I will have lots more to talk about and lots more to show you. I've got a ton of projects I want to get on the hook. I know I talked about some of those last week, so I definitely want to get started on some of those. So thank you for sticking around and watching. I know it's a short one, and just keep on stitching, y'all.